Hey, remember this guy from a couple of months ago? Yeah, I'm tired of it being in the way. I thought I would do a little work on this today. Um, there's the grinder all happily mounted on its new pedestal. I didn't film any of that, I mean, making a pedestal and attaching a grinder to it is, I don't think, very exciting. That's a base off a table, like, a casino table or something like that, because it's pretty tall. Cast iron base, adjustable legs, center column, and then I just cut a chunk of 3/16 plate, and underneath there's a star-shaped, I don't know if you can see that, star-shaped cast iron flange, and all I did was drill and tap into this 3/16 plate I cut to fit, and put these flathead machine screws in there and screwed it in. I made 4 rubber feet for the grinder base and screwed them in, and then attached it all, a couple of 3/8 bolts, and now it's happy in its new home. So yeah, that's that. Anyway, if you recall when I featured this a while back, somebody just beat the heck out of this thing with a hammer and split the casting all the way through. And these things, I mean, they're designed for light hammer work, but I mean, the casting is only, what is that? Pardon me. I'm terrible at camera work if you haven't figured that out. The casting is only 3/8 of an inch thick right there. So you go wailing on the anvil part of it with a huge hammer. Sorry, camera died for some inexplicable reason. Anyway, you go wailing on this with a huge hammer, and 3/8 thick cast iron ain't going to cut it. So anyway, what I'm going to do, I cut this out of scrap pipe. I'm afraid I may have already mushroomed that a little bit, which is compounding my problem of it being stuck, but that's 3 1/4 inch diameter, that inner sleeve, and this scrap pipe is 3 1/8 inch diameter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a driving sleeve out of this. I'm going to weld that flat bar across the top. I may weld a nut on here or a chunk of solid round bar, and then I'm going to take my air hammer after I anchor this to the bench somehow. I'm going to take my air hammer, see if I can drive it out that way. We'll see what happens. It may work wonderfully. Maybe a total fail. Who knows? We'll see what happens. Well, here's the setup. Got some space between the vise anvil and the deck of the welding table there, held up with some 1.5 inch square steel blocks clamped with C-clamps, and flat bars welded to my driving sleeve. There's my little tool I decided to make. I welded some 3/16 plate onto the end of an old worn out chisel bit, and we'll see if the air hammer has what it takes. And oh yeah, don't forget this stuff. Earplugs, and as Arco from Outlaw Edge would say, put the safety glasses on. Yeah. Don't need to say anything more about that. All right. I'm going to make some noise. I'm not going to film that because you don't need to see me. You'll have to turn the sound down anyway and plug your ears and all that stuff because it'd be hellaciously noisy. We'll see what happens. The air hammer was a fail. It just didn't have the horsepower. The drilling hammer was a fail, as you can see by the distortion of me wailing on that thing. But the Sawzall with the metal cutting blade did the trick. I cut through that thing, and then I still had to wail on it quite a bit to get it out, and I discovered why. If you look inside there, there's some kind of a little boss or something, sorry about the light, protruding from the side of the anvil, the Vise anvil. I cleaned up the outside here thinking, well, did they slip something through and then braze it in? And I can't find any evidence of that at all. So I'm thinking that's some kind of a blind hole from the foundry. They slipped that boss in there somehow. And then on the opposite side is the set screw. That's what was holding that bugger in. So I'm going to do a little more investigating on that and how that went in there, just because now my curiosity is piqued. Because I got to put this back together, obviously. I've got to clean this this sleeve up, weld that where I sawed through it back up, because it's got to be in there, because that's what that rides on. Anyway, yeah, and it's just fun. But oh well. Just part of life in the shop. Anyway, I'm going to cut this one off here. I'm tired. I'm going to go in and have some lunch. And, yeah, call it a day. Maybe. Maybe I'll come back out. I don't know. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you on the next one.